Welcome to our June 23rd Zoom satsang presentation. And our first topic. I'm continuing with the third part of our presentation at the Malaysia event for Let's Start Religious Education When They Are Still Young. It's the third part of the presentation and is the publisher's desk. What is true success? 2004 Hinduism Today Publisher's Desk, which has the subtitle, Hinduism favors and furthers the pursuit of wealth, pleasure, and happiness, all guided by dharma. This publisher's desk was written in response to seeing that in our modern world, many Hindu parents think that the practice of Hinduism is a hindrance rather than a help to their children becoming successful. This article points out the important role of fulfilling dharma as a part of true success. In today's material world, success in life is popularly measured by looking solely at people's professional and family life. Do they have a good, well-paying job and a large home with a highly educated spouse and intelligent children? If the answer is yes, then they are considered to be successful. We will take that as our initial definition of success, and throughout this section of the presentation, deepen and broaden it in important ways. Parents are naturally focused on making sure their children are as successful in life as possible, which is good. However, unfortunately, some Hindu parents feel that their children's participation in Hindu religious activities and studies is a complete waste of time, meaning that it contributes nothing at all to their becoming successful. This attitude is based on incorrect concepts, such as the following. Hinduism encourages us to look at the world as unreal, and thus take no interest in material success. Hinduism values world renunciation and thus stands against the acquiring of wealth and the enjoyment of life. Hinduism's devotional practices and attending the Hindu temple are only for field and factory workers and not for educated professionals. These three concepts are, of course, incorrect. Because Hinduism, when properly taught and practiced, helps us be more successful in all dimensions of life. Let's begin deepening and broadening our understanding of the Hindu view of success by looking at the concept of the four goals of Hindu family life. Hinduism's Purusharthas, four goals of life, are four pursuits in which humans may legitimately engage. Also called Chaturvarga, fourfold good, they form a cornerstone of Hindu ethics. They are dharma or virtue, artha or wealth, kama or love, and moksha or liberation. On occasion I am asked, I am a Hindu, but don't know much about my religion. How would you define Hinduism? One of the answers I give to this question is to mention that Hinduism provides us with the four goals of life we have just reviewed. All religions believe in the existence of the soul and in an ultimate destination for the soul, though their concepts are quite different. The Hindu concept is, of course, moksha, that we are continuing to reincarnate on earth, punarjanma, until we experience God deeply enough that we are liberated from the cycle of rebirth, samsara. Therefore, what distinguishes Hinduism from other religions is the need to have such an experience of God, which is called enlightenment, God realization, and self-realization. On other occasions, I am asked by groups of youth, what is the relevance of Hinduism to the modern society? The reason the question is being asked, of course, is that the youth think Hinduism has no relevance to modern society. I have a few different answers for this question. One of them has to do with the purpose of life, what our goals are in life, and how Hinduism gives us useful guidelines in that regard. In one of his Nandinada Sutras, Gurudeva stresses the Purusharthas. Shiva's followers are ever mindful that life's purposes is to wholeheartedly serve God, gods, and Guru, and fulfill the 4 traditional Hindu goals. Duty, dharma, wealth, artha, love, kama, and liberation or moksha. Those on the grahastha path of family life pursue all 4 goals. The way they do so changes according to their age or ashrama in life. For those in the first ashrama, brahmacharya, age 12 to 24, the primary focus is on studying at school and preparing professional and married life. In the second ashrama, grahastha, age 24 to 48, the primary focus is raising a family and fulfilling a career. The third ashrama, vanaprastha, age 48 to 72, is a time of transition from family and career to one of elder advisor to the younger generation, with a steady increase in time devoted to religious activities. The fourth ashrama, sannyasa, age 72 onward, is a time in which the primary focus is on moksha, meaning that religious practices are the main activity of one's day. It is also important to note that the pursuit of moksha is an important secondary pursuit through each of the first 3 ashramas. In other words, religion and spiritual progress is always part of a Hindu's life. Let's have a more in-depth look at the Purusharthas and take 2 of them to begin with, wealth and love, known in Sanskrit as artha and kama. The achievement of these goals is clearly identical to our initial definition of success. And thus we can see that Hinduism, contrary to what many people believe, is vitally concerned with an individual's being successful in worldly life. Said another way, wealth and pleasure, artha and kama, are natural goals of all humans, including Hindus. If you ask anyone what they desire from life, except monks of course, their answer will certainly include that they want to fall in love, get married, have children, and live a happy family life. They want to learn a profession so that they can earn a good living and provide for their family a home and all the possessions that are needed. This, of course, is the essence of the idea of wealth and love, artha and kama. Artha is material welfare and abundance, money, property, possessions. It includes the necessities of life, food, money, clothing, and shelter, and extends to the wealth acquired to maintain a comfortable home, raise a family, fulfill a career, and perform religious duties. My Gurudeva adds a broader meaning to artha when he describes it as embracing financial independence, freedom from debt, worthy children, good friends, leisure time, faithful servants, trustworthy employees, the joys of giving, feeding the poor, supporting religious mendicants, worshiping devoutly, protecting all creatures, and offering hospitality to guests. Quite a list from Gurudeva. In other words, artha measures not only riches but also the quality of life, providing the security needed to pursue kama, dharma, and moksha. Kama is earthly love, aesthetic and cultural fulfillment, pleasures of the world. Joys of family and friends, intellectual satisfaction, happiness, security, physicality, creativity, usefulness, and inspiration. The next goal of life, virtue, or dharma in Sanskrit, relates to how we pursue wealth and love. If we acquire our wealth honestly, and if we are loyal to our spouse, we are pursuing them in a virtuous or dharmic way. We may take for granted that this will be the case. However, it is not. The Satyam Computer Services scandal many years ago in India shows that businessmen can get off track and in their enthusiasm to make a profit may do so in dishonest and fraudulent ways. Also, unfortunately today, even in the Hindu community, some marriages end in divorce, oftentimes because one spouse is having an extramarital affair or affairs. The problem of being dharmic applies not only to adults, but also to youth. When we are young, we are easily influenced by peer pressure, can eventually end up getting off track, and as part of a group engage in vandalism or illegal drugs. Parents, of course, want their children to bring honor to the family name, to be leaders and pillars of their community, and to be of unblemished character. They know that without good character, true success is not possible. Whereas the pursuit of wealth and love is inherent in everyone and requires no study, most people need to study about dharma to understand how to live a life that follows virtue and fulfills duty. The Purushartha of Dharma does not stop at acting virtuously. It also includes giving, dana, helping others. Let's turn now to the fourth of the Purusharthas, moksha, which of course refers to liberation from rebirth on earth. Liberation comes when dharma has been well performed, all our karmas are resolved, and God has been fully realized. Thus it is clear that the three goals of dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, and kama, are not ends in themselves. But they do provide the environment and experiences which help the embodied soul mature over many lives and attain an ever-deepening God consciousness. This God consciousness eventually culminates in moksha, in which the soul is liberated from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. I have found an interesting way to put an audience to sleep within 5 minutes. Can you guess how? It is to talk at length about moksha. Why is this? It is because moksha seems so far off, something to be concerned about in a future life, something that is for monks to think about. This is because everyone feels that the challenges they are facing in day-to-day living are a sufficient focus, and thus there is no need to also think about moksha. This, of course, is a good point. Therefore, the challenge to be overcome is talking about moksha. In talking about moksha is to make it relevant to our day-to-day life and take away the futuristic sense. The way I do this is to refer to moksha as the X marks the spot destination, and then spend the rest of the presentation on moksha, describing the journey that leads to moksha. In giving talks on the idea of how we can grow and evolve into our divine potential, I frequently use the analogy of dance. I ask the audience what is most needed for a youth to become good at Hindu classical dance. Invariably, many state the answer that I have in mind: practice. Ideally, daily practice. Reading books about dance won't make you a good dancer, nor will attending classes without practicing what you have learned. Regular practice is needed to make the body limber and master the many movements, positions, gestures, and expressions. Spiritual journey that leads to moksha is the same. To grow and evolve into our divine potential, to manifest our inner perfection in our outer intellectual and instinctive nature, requires regular practice, ideally daily practice. Many Orthodox families living in India still manage to reserve time for their spiritual being by performing a daily early morning puja in their home shrine, followed by repetition of a mantra while counting on japa beads. The predominant trend in India and other countries, however, is that fewer and fewer families follow such disciplines. Sitting with me, so many say the same thing. We just can't seem to find the time for puja, japa, or meditation. Time devoted to employment, transportation, eating, entertainment, physical exercise, and spending time with family and friends takes up the whole day. The traditional 1-hour daily religious workout is proving to be too long, and because the benefits are not well understood, it is commonly skipped altogether. So what's the solution? I focus primarily on the youth, for their patterns are not too rigid to change. I devised a 10-minute program consisting of 4 activities that can be performed whenever time is available. Hopefully the brevity and flexibility of the time of day, along with a clear sense of the spiritual benefits, will motivate students to adopt this workout, or equally as good, customize a routine of their own. I suggest this practice be taken up around age 15 and maintained throughout high school and university. After schooling, it is hoped that those serious about their spiritual life will increase their workout to half an hour a day. Spiritual workout consists of 4 activities: worship, introspection, affirmation, and study. If besides following dharma as previously detailed, you are regular in the daily practice, then you can be assured you are moving forward in a significant way in this life in the journey toward moksha. In summary, our answer to the question posed by many Hindu youth, what is the relevance of Hinduism to modern life, based on the Purusharthas, is twofold. Hinduism gives us clear guidelines as to what constitute virtuous action, as well as what are our duties to family and community. And secondly, it gives us an underlying purpose for all our actions of making spiritual progress on a daily basis toward the eventual goal of moksha. In providing us guidance in life in these 2 key ways, Hinduism is most certainly relevant to modern life. As moksha takes many lifetimes to achieve, it is important that you remember to enjoy the journey. As Gurudeva loved to say, life is meant to be lived joyously. There is in much of the world the belief that life is a burden, a feeling of penitence, that it is good to suffer, good for the soul. In fact, spiritual life is not that way at all. And moving on to our second topic, we're continuing the series of 64 character qualities from a character building workbook. Third character quality today is affection. And the question to you, how would you define affection? That's an easy one. The workbook gives this definition. Affection refers to relations among family members and friends where there is a strong bond of closeness and understanding. I cultivate affection by expressing love and spending quality time together. The opposite is distance. That's really good. It's not just enough to love someone, you need to express the love. And then spend quality time together. Gurudeva explained, to be affectionately detached, that is a power, that is a wisdom, that is a love greater than any emotional love. A love born of understanding, a love that merges you into the river of life and allows actinic force to flow within you so that you realize God. India's culture spread all through Asia, and because of it one rarely sees any affection shown in public. kissing, hugging, hand-holding, touching, or feeling. And reflection. Take a moment to identify a few ways in which you could improve in affection. Ways you could express love more, ways you could spend more quality time with family members. And our third and last topic, as usual, is wisdom from Yoga Swami's Words of Our Master. This is a great quote. On the highest level, you do not have to control even the mind, because to control the mind there must be a second. There will come a time when the mind becomes quiet by itself. What does that mean to you? Give me a second here, my answer is a little garbled. Yoga Swami has given us the goal. The mind is quiet by itself. If it still takes a great deal of effort to sit with a controlled mind, then we have to continue to work on learning to quiet the parts of the mind that we are holding back with effort. So that's the idea. The goal is we just sit there and it's effortless to quiet the mind. But if it takes a great deal of effort, then we have a long way to go here. And there are specific types of thoughts that come into the mind, and we need to learn how to deal with each of them so that they reduce their frequency, which of course is a presentation in itself. And a second quote from Yoga Swami. How can sorrow affect the atma? What does that mean to you? Well, that's a broad one, and one approach is sorrow and all the other negative emotions can be overcome by experiencing the atma because they're not present in the atma. So we just have to move our awareness to the atma, which in Gurudeva's states of mind, sub-superconsciousness, in Shum language, the fourth dimension. We have to move awareness out of the negative emotions into the atma, because none of these negative emotions are there. Thank you very much. Om Namah Shivaya.